I played football and lacrosse in high school, and I only played lacrosse because Coach Mezzanotte would recruit football players during his gym class and have them almost play full contact lacrosse in the gym, and we're like, wow, we could play football in the spring with a stick. So that's how he got a lot of the football players out. Yeah, I would say Coach Mezzanotte, I don't think there's ever been a lacrosse coach in this county that's given more to kids than coaching lacrosse. And I was fortunate to be on his first high school championship lacrosse team in 1983. The fall of 1982, we were on the only undefeated Edgewood football team that did not go to the playoffs, and they changed the whole football playoff situation after that. But now I was blessed with Coach Wiest as a football coach and Coach Mezzanotte as the lacrosse coach. Coach Mez also coached football. So very fortunate to grow up and have great coaches in high school. Coach Mezzanotte would be mad at me if I wouldn't at least let you guys know this. He got me a full scholarship to North Carolina for lacrosse. I turned that down to play football at Towson, but I was recruited at Towson as a lineman. And my heart was kind of with linebacker, and after some time, I had a couple years at Towson, I wound up transferring to Salisbury and played linebacker down there for 3 years. But I was very blessed to be able to be on probably a legend coach, Coach Albert. Played for him at Towson, and Mike McGlinchey is probably one of the best Division III coaches that ever lived. He created an incredible program down at Salisbury, and some of the guys that are down there that I play with are still in that coaching staff there. But I was fortunate to have some great coaching. Well, when I graduated in '88 from Salisbury, I knew I wanted to be in business of some sort, but I also wanted to get in coaching. So I kind of started, two career paths at the same time. I went over to Edgewood High School, got a job coaching with Kevin Rowley over in Edgewood in 1988. Spent a few years, learning about not being a college player anymore and learning how to be a coach. But at the same time, I was on my way to trying to start a career in real estate. And I went for a few years at Edgewood, and then my career started taking off, with real estate. And also, it was my first baby was on the way, so I kind of had to step away from high school coaching for a couple of years, and that's when I got into coaching in the rec. But I was really, the way we got the Arena Club where we're sitting today, it was all happened because of real estate. I was fortunate to have an opportunity in Aberdeen. The old Chesapeake Racquetball Club was for sale, and I was the realtor on that particular sale, and had brokered a transaction that kind of fell apart at the last hour, and the owners asked me, like, why don't you buy it? And they made it where it was very affordable financing wise, and next thing I know that my wife and I are owning a racquetball club. And that's how we really kind of got to where we are today. We were fortunate to have success there. And then this land was if you remember, it was nothing but woods here next to Hartford Community College, and Bob Ward approached us about building, what we call the Arena Club today. One of the biggest things I think that we put a lot of pride in, and I think it comes from coaching, is just we surround ourselves with the best we can. And I think that my success as a football coach really is one of probably the biggest attributes to the Arena Club is we got great people here. I mean, we have some people that have been here 20 years. And they love this place, and they treat it as their own. I mean, they treat it as they're the owners as well. So we're very fortunate, and I think I saw that through coaching. Coached many championship teams, and it was just putting the best group of guys I can around me. Great offensive play caller, great personal defense. I went really new special teams. Some young coaches, and just creating a culture. And I think the culture that I learned and I saw, in my days of as a player, whether it was under Mezzanotte or Wiest, or saw it Phil Albert and Mike McGlinchey, there's a culture that great coaches have, and they surround themselves with great people, and that translates to the business world, tremendously. If you put great people around you, great things happen, and that's what we've done here.
It's a CEO mentality.
Yeah, every sports team faces adversity. Every business faces adversity, and we faced adversity. But no, there's never a time that I would say it'd be a lot easier to walk away. The challenge, I'm always up for the challenge. I want to play the best opponent. I mean, you saw that when I coached at John Carroll. We weren't afraid to play Calvert Hall and Loyola and beat them. And we taught our kids, hey, it's just another opponent. We're going to go out and play. And I think that's how, we are about competition in our area. You know, we feel that we have a superior product. We have great people. You know, there's going to be a lot of buildings out there that could be built and be filled up with equipment, but they don't have our people. We have people that really love and care, and they understand how to serve others. And we built this. Our mission statement was to serve family, fitness, and fun. And we serve, and that's what our employees really want to do. They want to serve. Our members, it's like their second home. They love walking through the doors of Arena Club because they're greeted by name. They're with other members that love being here, and that social component. But COVID taught us so much. It taught us so much how you know, we got through that, and it was tough. I mean, very, very, very tough to get through that. But what it did teach us is how bad people needed this community. And what I mean, the Arena Club community. They needed to come in and see their friends. They needed to take a class with someone that they're familiar with. They needed just to get out of their house and break a sweat and socialize. I mean, we're social human beings. We need to interact. And I think that's what we do great here. I think and it doesn't happen overnight. You know, championship teams, they're not built in 1 year. They take time to build. You know, I look at the Arena Club as a championship team that's took years and years and years to build because of, it just does. I mean, it takes a lot of hard work, it takes a lot of people pulling for the same type of goal, and then it all starts to, and you have to be willing to evolve. You know, I look at, you know, as a coach, this is my first year since 1989 not coaching high school football, and, you know, you have to be willing to make changes. And as a coach, I saw some young guys, worked with a guy last year, he had some great ideas, and you got to embrace some of the new things. And there's newer and brighter ideas, and you have to be willing to make some changes. And I think that's what we've done here. I think we have grown with times. There's certain machines, there's certain types of workouts, there's certain types of classes. The sports performance training area downstairs where people can push a sled and they can throw med balls. I mean, that type of workout, you know, we weren't able to do up here, but we evolved, and we see the success of that and what people want down there. I think the biggest thing, and I saw it in all the coaches, and I tried to be that same coach, is discipline. You got to have discipline. You got to have the work ethic to really get, you know, roll up your sleeves and go to work. You know, whether you're training for football, lacrosse, whether you're coming in. There's times I sit in that parking lot, and man, I knew I was going to come into a day. I had to like pump myself up in the car because I needed to be positive. I needed to bring energy to my staff, just like I would have to do as a coach. I mean, you got to have discipline. You have to, you know, to be successful on or off the field, you got to have discipline.